What is up, guys? This message is directed to Jim Carrey about his recent discovery of believing that he is meaningless in the universe and is nothing. So I want to address that because he and I had a great conversation, and there's something I think he's missing.
What is up, guys? This is comic book artist, writer, and director Graig Weich from BeyondComics.tv. Regarding Jim Carrey, I think he's missed something urgent. And, if anybody understands what he's talking about, it's definitely somebody like me who's been studying this kind of stuff for most of my life and understanding what we are in our place in the universe. What is the universe? What is our purpose? What are we after our bodies die? How do we, retrieve memories from the Akashic records when the brain is the thing that stores the memories, and all these things that I write about in my Ravidactyl book, which is upcoming. But to address Jim Carrey directly, he keeps saying he's nothing, he doesn't exist. And I understand what he's saying. I mean, a group of people had babies, and those babies grew up to have a group of, babies, etc., and they kept giving names to each other. So yes, I get it. My name is Graig Weich. It was given to me by my parents. But what is my true name, my soul's name, my energy's name, the name of my frequency, the name of my recipe put together that makes up who I am, right? So I understand his point, but here's the thing. He keeps saying that we, as a people, as a species, are meaningless, and he points up to the universe, right? I disagree. I think the universe, outside of our reach and observation, is meaningless to us. Think about that for a moment. I think that because we are sentient, conscious beings with self-awareness, that are living mathematical calculations, as Phineas Quimby might allude to, that it is the thing that is conscious that is meaningful. Meaning that he's placing too much importance on the universe being the end-all be-all that determines whether or not we exist and have value in that conscious awareness. So he keeps saying it doesn't matter what we do to the universe. Why would it? It doesn't matter what the universe does to us. So why should it matter to the universe what we do to it in our life, if you understand what I mean by that? So in other words, we are the things that are conscious. The universe is just happening, as he might, say. And despite the fact that we might be made out of the triangles that he refers to and the mathematical calculations that form us, and that we are the same matter, put together in a different construct, I understand that, but it doesn't lessen our purpose or value as conscious entities, or beings. So yes, we live in this thing that we are fused into. Yes, we have to maintain this physical form, or this, Elon Musk might say, this virtual reality system, aka this robotic system that we are infused in order to, function here and play in this playground, in this environment, right? But that doesn't lessen what we are inside this, and how we use this as a tool to send and receive and communicate information and data and signals with one another and ourselves, beyond the body's design. So I think that he has placed importance and saying, well, wait a minute, our existence is meaningless to the universe. The universe doesn't have consciousness the way we do. We are the universe conscious. We are one and the same to some extent, not trying to contradict myself, but more along the lines of explain that we are the energy matter that is conscious from the universe. We are that part of the universe that has been encased in this, and for those who are suffering, they would feel it's a prison of sorts, right? But for those who are not, for those who are not, they may feel a sense of freedom and exploration. So look, that being said, it's important to remember what Albert Einstein discovered, which is that energy cannot be destroyed nor created, only transferred, right? So that means that you can't create it from nothing, and you can't destroy it into anything. There's some remnants that will exist in some form, but you can transfer it, right? So, and again, I know there are people who are saying, oh, well, some of the quotes are not exact, but you get the point of it, which is that it's a continuity, an endless continuity. So, in my book, Ravidactyl over here, there's an important quote that his guide refers to and always says the end is the beginning throughout the book. I'm working on that now as well. And in understanding some of that, I'm trying to incorporate some of the higher, deeper meanings behind existence and one's purpose here. And I think that because Jim Carrey has this epiphany and this awakening, that he's locked into that and doesn't realize that that's another form of a character that he is becoming. So he said Jim Carrey is a character. Well, now this version of himself is a character. We always are some form of a character to some extent. So that being said, it's very important that hopefully he can continue to expand on his journey of discovery and recognizing what we may be behind this, but not to belittle the importance, like in the interview he did with E! Entertainment Television. It was awesome that he was able to set things in perspective when they said, we're honoring icons, people who do fashion. Hey man, that's awesome. But he put it down as saying icons, those are not icons. Icons are what? Things, people, experiences that are more important in the scheme of existence and discovery. Maybe if they were, and I do agree that icons should be doctors who save people, should be, firefighters who save people, things like this, for example, I understand, but they weren't making a comparison. They were saying they're honoring icons in fashion, right? So that's like honoring, artists in comic books, for example. You can break it into categories, and it's okay. It's almost like he didn't want to give himself permission to be able to, validate that it's okay to have fun and to play and enjoy some of the lighter things here that can be enjoyed. Let's not compare it to the most serious things. Let's not compare award ceremonies in art to, let's say, people who are, fighting to, rescue people from fires or whatever. Of course, that's a different level. But we're not making those comparisons. Enjoy your life, Jim, if you're watching. And I know he says he is and things, but I could see a tremendous amount of pain and suffering and a struggle to balance everything. So I'm concerned that he might be falling a little bit into a dark balance, which is okay if you swim in it and then you get out of it. But if you saturate in it too long, you can drown in it. And that's what you have to be careful of. A lot of people may not know, but in the deeper studies of understanding life and existence and what we are and how things work, again, I try to add as much what I call future science to the things that I'm writing about, meaning that I do believe there'll be explanations one day when they can quantify it. But until that time, if somebody has, for example, a paranormal experience, if they can't recreate that experience, it's difficult for scientists, engineers, and people to in physics to replicate it or to study it if they can't replicate it, right? So it doesn't mean it should be discounted. And a lot of the great engineers and scientists and people that I've personally spoken to have said the thing that they don't like is when people discount it and say, oh, it must be this, that, or the other, or use it. But actually, I'm running out of time, guys. Make sure to subscribe for updates. To be continued. Sorry, the camera's about to shut off. Almost out of room. But they do believe that there could be something that science will prove one day that they just can't quantify yet. Make sure to subscribe for updates, guys. Thanks for watching. And as they say in comic books, to be continued. Peace.